I'm back with another educational beauty video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about different foundation hacks that you can use that you are going to love. Like, these aren't your basic everyday foundation hacks. These are hacks which I'm going to go through in detail. They're very specific. It's not just generic, mix this with this, or this is what you can do to achieve this kind of look. These are hacks that honestly I would hope that you'll be able to see through the camera just how amazing the finish is and different things that you can do with foundation. So I'm super excited about you guys learning about this, so stay tuned. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram too, so it'd be great to see you there. I also have an online publication called Confessions of a Creative. I would love you to subscribe to that. You do actually have two different versions of that. You've got a free version where you'll get regular, occasional newsletters, and then you have a paid version, which is literally just going to cost you a coffee for a month. That's all it costs. Imagine getting one coffee every month, and you're going to get in-depth, detailed beauty advice. So specific newsletters that only you will see if you are a paid subscriber, and you're also going to get a private room with me and whoever the rest of the paid subscribers are, where we can chat about things, discuss things, Q&As. You have questions about anything, ask away. So I hope you do enjoy it. Now I think we should just head straight into this video. As you can see, I have nothing on my face, no skincare, nothing, because I really want to show you each hack as we go along. There might be one or two that I can't show you because it will just be really difficult, but we'll see how we get on during the process. Now, the first hack that I really want to share with you is something that would be great for someone who wants that glowy finish, but they also want to kind of keep that shine at bay. And I know sometimes people have these issues and you're like, how do I get this, but without getting this? It seems really particular. Like, how am I going to be able to get that? It just seems impossible. So that's what I want to do with this specific hack. I want to explain to you how this works. So what we're going to be doing is mixing a gel-based primer in with our foundation. What that's going to be doing is basically creating this ultra smooth foundation, which is going to end up giving you that hydration because you have that primer in there, but then also kind of holding that shine at bay, keeping that shine at bay, because you don't want that kind of oiliness to come through either. You want to have that glow, but you just don't want it to look greasy or oily. So this is a really great way, and you really do have to make sure you use the right texture gel primer, and this one has to be one that I would recommend hands down because I've tried it so many times. It's the perfect type of consistency to mix in with a foundation. I would say the best type of foundation to use with this is a liquid foundation which isn't too runny, so something which is kind of medium coverage, potentially even full coverage. You could go for that too, and mix it in with the gel primer, and it just gives you just such a smooth finish. Honestly, I can't wait for you guys to see this. I do already have my moisturizer on and eye cream on, so I'm just not even gonna go with that. So just put all your skincare on and then we can continue with this. Now, the foundation I'm gonna be using is Doll 10. This is actually a really good foundation. It's a clean makeup brand, and you'll find the link for this in my description below. And there's a few of the products I'm going to be using in some upcoming tutorials because I am always a little bit skeptical with new brands, but I always give it a go because you just never know. Honestly, I really liked this. I really like the foundation, and it's really amazing coverage. And they basically just kind of take out all the they just don't put any rubbish in there, and they use more natural ingredients, which are actually good for your skin. And another reason I love this is because this foundation has aloe in there, which is really soothing for the skin. Now, what I'm going to be doing, and by the way, my shade is Tan Deep. This is a little bit dark on me, and the lighter one to this is a little bit too light on me. I'd say when I'm super tanned, my tan is kind of like gradually going now, but when I'm super tan, this would be perfect on me. Now, what I'm going to be doing is getting this on the back of my hand, just a little bit, just like a pea-sized amount. By the way, if I didn't mention, this is super coverage makeup. Now I'm going to get my primer, which is my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is an amazing primer. I'm going to put like, I'd say not full pump, but kind of like half the amount of the foundation that I put on my hand. Now I'm going to mix this, and it's become like a lot more kind of more of a gel consistency to the foundation. We're going to grab our brush. I'm using my Sigma F47 brush, literally the best foundation brush you will ever need. Don't forget, you do have a discount code for this. This is Nina Ubhi 10. So use that discount code for a sweet little discount there for you at Sigma. And don't forget, you do have my eye brush set, which is on sale right now on the site. So head over and use it. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you guys, you can use the discount code now. I am pretty sure you can use my discount code on my brush set. So head over, use the code NinaUbi10 and grab your brush set. Link is in the description below. And yeah, let's carry on with this. So I'm gonna now apply this over my skin, and you're gonna see how this just kind of is such a smooth finish. It's one thing me showing you, but like when you apply it on yourself, I feel like that's when you're going to be like, wow, the finish is pretty amazing. It's almost like kind of cooling on your skin as well, because you're getting that hydration, but it's also weirdly cooling. That's obviously the gel texture, the gel finish. I'm just going to take this over the lid of my eye quickly, I'll give it a little bit of coverage. I mean, I feel like this hack is amazing if you want your skin to still look like skin and you want that nice kind of coverage, but you also want that smoothness, you want that glow to it, but you don't want it to look shiny. Honestly, this is a pretty amazing hack, which I really do hope that you try out. So just to reiterate, this hack is using a gel-based primer mixed in with a liquid but not too fluid foundation. I would ideally recommend you going for a medium or full coverage foundation to mix in with your primer, because it almost kind of dilutes it a little bit so that you get that perfect kind of coverage and that smoothness and that kind of skin-like finish, and it just doesn't actually look like you're wearing any foundation, but it gives you all the coverage. So it ticks all the boxes without it looking heavy. This is great for dry skin, or mature skin. So if you have mature skin or dry skin and you feel like, okay, usually I can't really get that really nice coverage because it ends up sitting in all the cracks, my skin just looks even more dry, I would highly recommend this. Now, I know sometimes I get these odd comments, very rarely, just the one-off, and it's always some person who thinks they know what they're talking about, and I just kind of feel like saying, why don't you start a YouTube channel then? Why don't you do that? Instead of looking at everyone else's like content, just go and start your own YouTube channel if you know what you're talking about. But anyway, I just want to make this very clear. What my point was that it isn't just about mixing a primer with a foundation. Yes, you can do that as a basic hack, and that's great. I think I've mentioned it on a previous video of mine talking about hacks, but these hacks that I'm showing you today are all foundation based, and they're very particular. So it's not just about mix this with this or mix this type of texture with this texture. It is specific to the kind of products that I'm using. So you've got to make sure, for example, like I mentioned, it's got to be a gel-based primer. This is where you're going to get the finish that I'm talking about, a gel-based primer, and this is the best one I would recommend. Okay, so link will be in my description. You can head over and grab it, but this is going to be the best exact product that I would recommend. And obviously use it with the right type of foundation. So the texture of this is fluid, but not too fluid, right? So it's a liquid foundation. It is medium to full coverage. And what happens is when you mix that gel primer in with it, it dilutes the coverage slightly, but not too much. But it just makes it better for mature skin or slightly dry skin. And it gives you that kind of like glow without kind of that obvious shine. But it's great for making like slightly dehydrated skin or slightly dry skin or mature skin look healthy and glowy. So, and you don't have to worry so much about the flakiness, about the dryness of the skin. You know, you don't feel like all of a sudden your skin shriveled up with that full coverage foundation. So it's kind of like trying to utilize the great coverage of a foundation without it drying out your skin. So I really do hope you try this. So that's what my point was it's not just about mixing anything with anything. It is very specific. Hopefully I've made that very clear, but let's move on. So hopefully, well, actually, firstly, I want you to see this. I mean, this, you can see that this is obviously a little bit kind of patchy, my skin here, but you can see that you've got that smoothness, that color, it matches my neck more. And actually it is the right color. I was saying I wasn't sure if that foundation color is right. My tan on my face has definitely lightened because I've got back onto my retinol, and that kind of gets rid of your tan a bit quicker. But this matches my neck perfectly because my tan on my body is still there. Actually, this is a good color, but yeah, I really hope you can kind of see it gives you that healthy glow. And honestly, with this, I don't feel like you have to use powder, especially if your skin is dry or you have mature skin. Don't feel that you have to, because what happens is when you're using a kind of medium to full coverage foundation, it's naturally kind of made to stay. So majority of those type of coverage foundations are usually kind of like they're slightly dry drying on the skin, right? And which is why you probably usually feel that you can't use it because it's too drying. So those foundations work great with this gel-based primer because it's kind of just reducing that dryness and you're still getting that coverage, but it's maybe not to its full potential, but it's still amazing. So definitely try it because I think you're going to love this. Yeah, moving on to the next one. Now this is how you can really get that healthy kind of tanned look without looking like you've just been on a tanning bed. So this is where we're going to mix a foundation with a slightly, it's not kind of like, I'm not going to use a tanning product because I don't actually want to tan my skin, you know, like how you get the tanning drops and stuff. I don't want to do that. What I'm going to be doing is using a kind of very rich kind of skin luminizer. It's kind of like a luminizer. Well, yeah, it is. It's so what I'm using is the Fenty Ease Drop Lit All Over Glow Enhancer. So this is going to give you a really nice healthy glow. But I'm using the shade Bronze Jasper 04. So I really like this color and it is very dark for my skin tone. So you want to go for something which is probably, if you're a lot paler skin than me, go for something my skin color. So something which you feel on its own is probably going to be like, you wouldn't usually go for that color, right? So use something which is actually a lot darker than your skin tone. Now what I'm going to be doing is mixing this with a foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using is a liquid foundation, but it's kind of medium coverage that you can build up. So this is where I want to show you how you can get that nice kind of almost like that healthy tanned look, but you want it to kind of look like it's slightly glowing, but not, you know, like just healthy, like you've just been for 10 minutes in the sun and it's nice, you know, it's not like, whoa, she's really tanned. So it gives you that really nice kind of tanned look without looking overly tanned, but it's also not just about foundation. So you're adding a little bit of foundation to give you that even coverage and give you that really nice kind of like just subtle amount of coverage that you need. But it's that luminizer in a really deep color, which is giving you that really nice kind of sun-kissed look. Now I'm using my Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. I actually received this last week and I absolutely love this foundation. They sent me the full size one, so I'm really, really grateful to Makeup by Mario. They sent me the full size one and then they sent me all of the other shades of the foundation in small versions. The one that they sent me in full size isn't actually my color, it's a lot lighter than my skin. However, currently with my current skin tone, how it's slightly kind of losing my tan, I am 15N, which is neutral. So what I'm going to be doing is putting a very small amount of foundation on the back of my hand. I'm putting majority of the luminizer, right? So I'm going to put just, I'd say 1 pump, and 1 pump from this is very small, so it's like probably half a pea-sized amount, not even a full pea-sized amount. And then I'm going to double up with this skin luminizer. So that's like a pea-sized amount. I'm going to mix this the back of my hand and it will feel like, it will look like, okay, this still looks too dark for me. Don't worry about it. That's what's going to give you that really nice kind of sun-kissed look. I'm going to brush this onto the skin. I'm using my F47 brush again. And we're going to start from the center and we're going to work our way out. I absolutely love the finish this gives the skin. You can use a concealer if you want to, you know, on top or even underneath, if you feel that you need it around the eyes or anything like that. But the healthy look that this gives your skin is just amazing. So like I said, I'm not talking about using a tanning product. So I've heard that hack before plenty. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about actually tanning your skin. I'm talking about giving yourself that temporary kind of sun-kissed look without a lot of makeup, but with enough of it, it gives you that even finish. See that? It gives you that really nice even finish, but you've got that glow there and it doesn't look like, okay, whoa, she's got foundation on it. It kind of looks like your skin just looks really good and sun-kissed. So we're gonna just carry this on. And if you want to, you could just apply this in the areas that you want to apply it. I love the finish this gives the skin. You saw what my skin was like before, right? So it's actually quite patchy. It's quite pale in comparison to the rest of my body. Now I feel like, firstly, it matches the rest of my body. Secondly, it is kind of giving me that glowy kind of look, that island vibe kind of to my skin, and I love it. And hopefully that's kind of showing you what kind of look you can get with this. I absolutely love this hack. So don't forget, it is not using a tanning product. You're using a very deep skin enhancer luminizer. So something like the Fenty Ease Drop, or even I believe Rare Beauty also do one too, but that's got a little bit extra shimmer in there. What I love about the Fenty Ease Drop is it's not kind of like glittery. You don't get left with shimmer on your face. It's an actual kind of glow enhancer. Or actually, I'll tell you the other products you could use is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter Glow. You know, the one that I usually use. I think I use 5 sometimes, and when I'm tanned I use 6. Use the much darker one, right? At least 3 shades darker for your skin tone. Use that, mix it in with your foundation. You're going to get the most beautiful sun-kissed island look, and it's great for like, you know, like summer evening out, like summer evenings, or, you know, just generally when you want that type of look. Just a tiny bit of concealer around the areas that you feel that you need it, very small, and then that's your look done, obviously with whatever other bits you need done. What I would recommend is if you are going to be using concealer, put it on after. So put this on first and then put your concealer on, because it gives you a better idea of how much you need. If you were to put on concealer first and then you go over with this, you're basically probably going to end up putting extra concealer on, because you're like, well, I just want to cover it all up. Don't do that. Just do this, because now I know if I apply concealer, I just need to use the smallest amount. So just the very, very smallest amount to cover up my dark circles, so that I can let the rest of it kind of like speak for itself, and that's it. This next hack is great if you want your foundation to last all day, and I'm talking about a little bit extra. I mean, I already show you how to apply your foundation with the underpainting technique so that it looks like, gives you that soft focus effect, but also does last all day. That's great, but there is a way that you can do it so that you can extend it that little bit further. Now, what I'm going to be doing is starting by applying powder first. So I already have my skincare on. That's already kind of like sunk in. Let it sunk in. I've not had to like blot it or anything like that. So just put your skincare on, wait a little while, let it sink in, and then you carry on like we're gonna now. Now I've got my powder here, which is my Makeup Forever Ultra HD setting powder in light banana. You can use your translucent powder, that's absolutely fine. Now what I'm gonna do is get a big brush, and I'm just gonna basically dust this over my face all the way around. Just lightly dust it. I'm especially making sure I go around the areas that I know that I usually kind of like end up shining a lot. Now I'm going to get my smaller brush, my Real Techniques brush. That was my Hourglass Veil brush. I'm going into this powder, and I'm going to go around the areas that I know I really need to like kind of get in, which is around the sides of the nose. But I'm also going to go on my under eyes here. And you can go on your lids as well if you want to. We can do this along like the whole of the face. Okay, we've got this powder on everywhere. If you have slightly dehydrated skin or mature skin, there is a way that you can also do this. And this is why I love this hack, because it works for any kind of skin type. Great for oily skin, but if you do have slightly dry skin, I wouldn't say very dry skin, because I think it's going to be too much for you. It's going to be too drying for you. But if you do have slightly dry skin or dehydrated skin or mature skin, this could potentially still work for you. Next, we're going to use a kind of this isn't necessarily a setting spray. I'm using a hydrating spray. So you could try a setting spray if you want to. I personally prefer a hydrating spray because I feel like I'm giving my skin that hydration. It's kind of like almost sealing that powder in as well. But I don't feel like it's just a setting spray. I feel like I'm getting something from this spray too. So the one I'm using is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Hydrator Mist. This is a Radiant Skin Rescue Essence. So it has hyaluronic acid in there, niacinamide, Japanese kombu extract. It's revitalizing, oxygenating for the skin energizer. It's smoother, younger looking skin, pollution defense as well. So it kind of like has a lot in there, which is really looking after my skin. I'm going to spray this all over. So your skin will end up kind of looking kind of wettish. You can go over with 2 layers or 1. I prefer 2. Just means you've got to kind of let it dry for a bit. So we're just going to let this dry. You've got to let this fully dry before you move on to the next step. And it is a pretty amazing kind of like base that it gives you in order to put your foundation on. When you start putting your foundation on, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be surprised because it's almost like it creates that plastic feel. You know, like plastic is really smooth, right? It's just like it's super, super smooth and you're going to love it. So let's let this dry. feel like it just needs to dry a little bit more. This smells so good, by the way. Really, really good. I started using this last week, and because I had different hydrating sprays that I've used for this technique, but this is a really good one. It smells really good. My skin is dry now. Now I'm going to take my primer. This is my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Taking one pump, and we're going to smooth this on. Don't rub it on. We're going to smooth it on all over the face. There you go. I've smoothed it on. You could see that I wasn't rubbing that on. Smoothing a very thin layer all over the face. Now your face should end up looking almost slightly plastic. You've got that plastic kind of almost shine to it. Now, this is where we're going to apply our foundation. Let this dry slightly, right? And you don't have to wait that long. And we're going to use a sponge, and the foundation is going to go on so nice. So I'm taking my Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation in 15N. Now this foundation is pretty light coverage, so you really need to build it up to get that good coverage. With this, we should start to see like the coverage pretty soon. You're not going to need to apply as much. I love the base that this kind of whole hack creates for you. It's just amazing. I love it. Guys, I can't wait for you to actually like try these hacks, especially this one. It's amazing. I'm telling you now, I've used this foundation quite a lot recently, and I have had to put way more on to get this kind of coverage. When you first apply it, it's kind of like the coverage just isn't like amazing on this foundation, right? You've got to keep building it up. You can get to that amazing coverage. It is a great foundation, and it's like, at the end of the day, it's surreal skin, right? That's what it's called. So it's not meant to give you that initial immediate coverage, because it's kind of like easy to customize. So you can kind of like adjust this however you want to. But I'm telling you, this whole hack that I just showed you, this amount of foundation that I've applied, I would have to keep going with a couple of layers to get this coverage. What I'm trying to say is this hack will, firstly, your whole look will last so much longer. But also, I find that you don't have to use as much foundation. It's pretty amazing how much of a difference the result you can get with just changing a few things around and using these hacks. I'm not just saying it, but my skin looks so good right now using this hack. I love it. Guys, please do try this. I know you're going to love it. I know you are going to absolutely love this. I know that sometimes it can be difficult because you see all these like TikTok videos and stuff, and you're like, that's ridiculous. It's not going to work. Why would you do that? I'm telling you, this works. I'm telling you, there was a point I remember that I used to, say putting powder on first is a no-go because you're kind of mixing textures. It's not, powder's gonna kind of like rub off and everything. It doesn't mix well when you put it on underneath. You should always finish with the driest formula. Honestly, having tried this, it is about how you apply it though, because if you pack it on and you bake and then you go over with something, it's not gonna work, like something liquidy. But if you dust it on very lightly, it does kind of almost create this kind of film over your face, and it does give you that really, really nice finish. And I absolutely love the fact that I don't have to use as much foundation to get the most amazing coverage. I am very quickly going to add a little bit of concealer around my eyes because I feel like then I can carry on with the next hack. By the way, you can set this now with powder if you want to. So I'm going to just quickly just finish off this whole kind of face, just like a bit of concealer, so I can show you how you can actually apply some powder to finish this off. Okay, so I've put a little bit of concealer on. Now I'm going to just set this as normal, how I usually do. A little bit of powder on the under eyes. And then the rest of the face, you can bake it if you want to, but I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't feel like you need to. I'm going to just take my Real Techniques brush and just dust off that powder, because I do always press it in on the under eyes because it just works better. But everywhere else, honestly, I think with this kind of technique, you just need to dust the powder on. And there you go. You have a full coverage look without using that much foundation and concealer. It's actually quite shocking with this whole hack how you can do that. But we are now going to move on to the next hack. Now, the next hack is pretty easy. I'm going to be showing you how you can use your foundation as a base product to create a really good blush, maybe from a lipstick that you have that you really like, or even an eyeshadow, a powder eyeshadow. So what you want to do is get your base, which is going to be your liquid base foundation. So get any kind of liquid foundation, put some on the back of your hand. I'm going to get one of my favorite lipsticks. This one is the Rare Beauty Lip Souffle in Brave. I absolutely love this. Now I'm going to put this on the back of my hand and I'm going to actually mix the foundation in with it. So it gives me a much more kind of subtle version of it. It's a lot softer, and I'm going to use the back of a sponge, and then I am just going to basically apply this where I want it. This is honestly such an amazing way to kind of give yourself that kind of color in your cheeks which doesn't feel separated from your foundation. So it's kind of like just kind of built into your foundation. It's very, very subtle. So obviously this is the color that I personally like. I can see it face to face. So I'm not sure if you will be able to see it, but it is a color that I love, and it's very, very subtle. I don't go crazy with blush, but it's an easy way for you guys to kind of incorporate a blush which you love already, but you just don't have a blush version of it. And it really does kind of melt into the skin because you're applying it with, it's mixed into foundation. You're applying it onto your already done base. I would powder after this if you are going to powder, and if you have powdered before, only do this if you feel like it's a very light dusting of powder that you've done. If you don't have any powder on, this works great because you can just kind of press it in and then carry on with powder if you want to set it. So you can use any kind of color that you want. Like I said, I prefer a very subtle blush, so you may not be able to see this face to face, just because I know for me, face to face mirror, I can see it, but it is a very, very light blush. So you could use something like a hot pink, mix it in with your foundation, and immediately you're going to actually see how it kind of mutes that color. So it's still that color, but it's a lot more muted, so it's not so in your face, and it kind of just looks like it's just part of your whole kind of foundation, but it's just a flush of color in the right place, if that makes sense. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed all of this kind of like all these foundation hacks today. I've really enjoyed sharing them with you, and I'm really excited for you guys to also try them. So please do let me know how you get on. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and wherever you are in the world, I'm sending you loads of love. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.